Good morning, YouTube. I am coming to you with a bit of a sad story about a 6-year-old child. Her name is Jalea Eason, and she's 6. And she was found bruised and unresponsive in her apartment. And her mother, Lanija Eason, 26 years old, was charged with acting in and manner of injuries to a child, but it could be upgraded if the medical examiners rules her daughter's unaliving a homicide. There is also a growing memorial inside of the lobby of the Forest houses on East 165th Street in Mauritian. It's in New York now. And where Jalea lives, and it was early Friday when her mother calls and she reported her daughter unresponsive. Paramedics rushed Jalea, the excuse me, paramedics rushed Jalea to the hospital, and she was pronounced unalive less than an hour later. And then when officers entered the house where Jalea lived, they found an 8-year-old boy, and they also found a 3-year-old girl. And the 8-year-old revealed that his mother has hit him in the past. And I, okay, so let me just say this. She's in jail, and the medical responders, they still have not given an exact, update on her unaliving. And what I wanna believe in my heart, because I know how police officers do work, they will have more information and they won't release all the information to the public. So I'm just gonna be hopeful, and then hopeful that the like the I just want to be hopeful that it's a little bit more, and they do know a lot more. Excuse me. I want to say that they know a lot more, and I'm just gonna hold my head that they know a lot more, because this is it's so tragic. And the mother is only 26 years old, and she had 3 children. And I did want to let you know the 8-year-old boy as well as the 3-year-old, it has been, determined that the 2 children are in the administrative for children's service custody. So they're in children's service in custody. So they're with the state. And, a lot of times, I know if you like me, kids, you just don't ever want children to go to the state wherever you live, because they don't, it's just, and take it from me, I've worked for child support for a year and a half, and I got offered the position with the company for me to work on the children's services side. And the reason why I declined that position is because I listened to the horror stories, on the child support side, and how the mothers, they knew, let me just say this. It's sad, but I'll just be honest and I'll just tell you. When I worked for Shelby County Child Support, I got a lot of calls for mothers as young as 13 years old. And I got a lot of, incest cases, where they wouldn't tell who, the father was. And I was able to, shadow on the children's services side just to see if I would still be interested. And I know it was a lot of cases where it was incest cases, and it was known to be an incest case. And a lot of the daughters were having children by the fathers. And a lot of the young girls, they were having children by family members. And that's where the incest comes in. And it's not just the fathers. The incest can be an uncle, it can be a cousin, anybody that's related, whether it's on the mother's side or whether it's on the father's side. Incest is incest. And I just want people to know that's never okay. That is never okay. If you ever were in that situation, and you had the, opportunity to get out of the situation, or you were confused as if it's okay, that's never okay to have children with anyone in your family. So that's why I turned that position down. And I didn't have the heart. I didn't have the heart to listen to on the child support side where the girls are as young as 13 and, having children that young. And they didn't know the father's names. They knew the father's nicknames. And then they would call and they would say, well, I don't know his nickname. I don't know his real name. I know his nickname. And unfortunately, I used to have to tell everyone that, I can't, if I wanted to put up, help you with your case, I would need as much legal information as far as the social security numbers, the date of birth, the last known employer, the last known home address, and first and foremost, the first and the last name, no nicknames, and no Facebook names. And just believe it or not, that's sad. It really is sad. And, I couldn't do that job. I couldn't even do the child support that long. And that was around the time when COVID was rapid. And that was around the time when the company, the action agency, they closed, they shut down, and then we were working from home. And they asked if I wanted to work from home and continue the job, and I said no, because I just didn't want to, be at home and still, deal with, because when I worked at that job, I would do the job from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then once I left the job, then I would, disband from the job and wouldn't think about the job until it was time for me to start the next day. And then I just said no because I didn't want to put that in my household. Even though it was going to be the same job or stuff, I thought about it different. And I wanted to just keep that type of job that I was working at work and at work in the office only. So with that being said, that's where I panned into, the children's services. And I will say that for Jalea, that is so sad. She is a baby. She's a 6-year-old child. And to see that the mother had 2 additional children, she had an 8-year-old son. And he said for him to say that the mama has hit him in the past. And then you just want to know, well, what could really be going on with her? She's 26 years old. It's a backstory, I'm pretty sure. But it's a backstory. I know for a fact because nobody is, having children that young, three, that young like that, without it being, a backstory. But I just wanted to talk about the Jalea Eason story, and I can come back, and when I get more information, then I can come back and give updates on the story. But it's sad. So I just want to share that with you this morning. Facebook, not Facebook. Oh my dear Jesus, definitely not Facebook. YouTube, because but I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. And I want you to, on a happier note, have a great Memorial Day, because it is still Memorial Day and it's still Memorial Day morning. And go with your families, love on your families, and just be grateful that you still are in the presence of your family, and be grateful that you're still here another day. And I'm checking out now, and bye, YouTube. I'm going to upload the video here soon. Bye-bye. Enjoy your day. And again, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a happy Memorial Day. Bye-bye.